Good morning. I am up early, like 3:30 in the morning early, before everyone else, because I want to surprise them with homemade donuts, old-fashioned sour cream donuts. So let's get busy and let's get this process started so that when they're all waking up, we can have fresh donuts. I'm sure by now you've heard about this Amish Friendship Starter thing. I've been on this journey for several months now, and my friend Renee and I even put together an open collaboration for all of you to join in. We all had so much fun that we decided to continue this through the summer for one Friday a month. So the first Friday of every month, we'll still continue Friendship Fridays, where everyone can put in their recipes, and I'll still have the playlist open, and I'll add you to the playlist. It is going to be a lot of fun. Today's recipe, I am making up my own recipe. So I found a recipe for old-fashioned sour cream donuts, and I thought, how can I incorporate my sourdough in this? Basically, what I'm doing is I'm switching out. I'm not putting quite as much sour cream in there, and I'm not going to add as much sugar. And I hope this works. First thing I'm going to do is get our eggs separated. Today, I'm going to be using 1 goose egg, but if you, like most people, don't have a goose egg, and you happen to have duck egg though, use 2 of those. Whoops. Oh, that's not separating as well as I'd hoped. And if you don't have duck eggs, then go ahead and grab yourself 3 medium chicken eggs, or 2 extra large. And we're going to separate the yolk from the white. Today I only want the yolk, and this white was to be saved for an omelet later. Okay, now that that mess has been cleaned up, the next thing I'm going to do is measure out 1/2 a cup of starter. I've got a very happy, healthy, full starter. I'm just going to use 1/2 a cup. That looks good. Set this aside. Tuck it away for the next time. To our egg, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of softened butter, 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Put this in my mixing bowl. And we're going to mix this up really well. And then to this, I'm going to put a splash of vanilla. And I'll go ahead and throw in that starter. I'm going to blend this up real good. I could just do that with my spatula. 2 portions of 1/2 cup each of sour cream set aside. To this bowl, we're going to add the 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. So 1, 2, I need 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a full tablespoon of cornstarch, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. We'll take a whisk, and we're just going to kind of blend all this together. Slowly add this. Add about 1/2 of this into my mixer. Oops, that was more than 1/2. And then I'm going to add 1/2 of my sour cream here, the other 1/2 of my flour, and the other 1/2 of the sour cream. I just want to Stop here and make sure we were getting it fully mixed. I'm going to scrape all this out of the bowl, and I'm going to make a big ball. Now, I'm going to wrap this up, and we're going to put this in the fridge to set for an hour. Let it chill, and then we'll bring it back out. Okay, so I've had my 2 cups of coffee. It's been more than an hour. Let's cut out these donuts. I'm excited. I cannot wait. My grandma used to make the best fried donuts. These are different. These are more of a cake donut, but I can't wait to give this a try. So my grandma used to make the kind of donuts that you would let them rise. You'd cut them out and let them rise. This is different. This is like a cake type donut. So this is going to be new to me, other than, you know, I've eaten them at the donut shops. So the dough still seems pretty soft and sticky to me. Not quite as bad as it was, so chilling it has helped. You know, everything with the starter kind of has, it is pretty sticky. But the ingredients themselves were indicating to me that it would be, so. All right, I just want to flour this while it said. And then roll it out, can't remember, about a 1/2 inch. Okay, well, maybe I got a little crazy with the flour. That's okay. We're going to be covering this in a bunch of sugar anyway. And we're going to fry them up so that'll cut the flour taste, if there is any. And this is probably 1/2 inch. I'd say, wouldn't you? I don't know. I happen to have thrifted a donut cutter. If you don't have one, no big deal. Just, that might not be quite a 1/2 inch. That might be a little thin. Just go ahead and use 2 different size biscuit cutters, or just find something around the house to cut with. I think our goal is to end up with like 12, but I don't know. So we're just kind of want to press this all together again. Roll it out. Well, that was easy enough. This will be our tester donut to make sure our oil is working. Okay, speaking of oil, you need to grab yourself a high heat oil. Today, I've got peanut oil that needs used. So I'm going to take this over to my pan, and I'm going to put, I don't know, about 2 inches worth of oil in the pan, and I'm going to bring it up to 325 degrees. Time to work on the icing. We need a 1/2 cup of butter. All right, so we're going to have to take this and we need to melt it, and I'm just going to use, you know, the microwave. So I put this in the microwave for a minute. That may have been a little much. It's pretty hot. I've got 4 tablespoons of hot water here. I don't know that I'll need it. We'll see. I'm not the best frosting icing maker. 3 whole cups of this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and mix a little of this in there. Just a little. We don't have to get crazy with it. Add that little splash of that water in there. Whoops. You know, it's not my kitchen if I don't make a mess. We're gonna add a splash of vanilla. I like it very vanilla, so I probably put in twice what it called for. But you gotta watch that with your frosting because then it makes your measurements off. The key is, with anything like this that you're mixing, especially by hand, if you just do a little wet, a little dry, a little wet, a little dry, it just incorporates better. And yep, this is gonna be just fine. So once we let this sit, it's gonna cool a little bit, especially with all that butter. Yum. Okay, set this aside and let's start frying. Okay, I lied. I put an inch in there. I didn't have a pan that I could put 2 inches of oil in there and have room to fry. I don't know what the temperature is. This darn thing isn't working. I can smell it, so. Oh yeah. That's frying. And it says 2 minutes on each side. Yeah, I don't know about that. This almost looks like it's done. I don't want to overcook it. So I don't think it's going to take 2 minutes. I must have my oil a little high. Maybe it's going to be like 1 minute each side. I don't know. Amish starter in there, it does brown. Okay, they're cracking open. That's going to be my indicator of when to flip. So now I'm going to take it over here and I'm going to put it on paper towel. Okay, let's see what happens when we do the donut holes. Okay, I'm going to do about 30, 45 seconds, not quite the full minute. Already. Ooh, they puffed up nice. My grandma, when she did it, she was doing so many at a time. And she had dowel rods that would go across both sides of her sink. But I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to take them and flip them in the frosting. Get the most of it off. And then just lay them on here on the rack. And I'm going to do that because all the excess can drip into the sink. And then I don't have to worry about the cleanup on my counters. And I've got the window open, so a little bit of breeze, so they'll cool off a little quicker. Now, if you don't want to use your fingers, you can use a special dipping tool or something. But this is just from my family. I'm sure you're wondering about the donut holes. Since the frosting is pretty much done and it kind of started to harden on me over by the sink, I brought it over here. We're going to add a little milk to it and we're just going to kind of glaze them on a tray. In hindsight, I should have done the cinnamon sugar on these while it was still hot, but they have since had a chance to dry off. So that's what we're going to do. Thin that back out. I was going to drizzle it, but you know what? I think it's so thin we could just do this. And what this little tool does is it just leaves an open gap so that it's easier to get all your frosting or whatever you're coating, kind of tap all that off. I had one break while I was dipping it, so I think this will be a good taste tester. Don't you? Mmm. So good. It really didn't take any time. And I think you could make the batter the night before and then fry them up that next morning. It didn't take any time to do it. Simple ingredients and delicious. Now all I need to do is wake up the boys and we're gonna get our day started. Thanks for being here today. Appreciate each and every one of you. Bye for now. Now, do I drink more coffee? Or do I have mine with a glass of milk?